You guessed it, Pressure Points with your two favorite spooky hosts. I'm D, and this is my cute little jack-o'-lantern, AJ. We're coming at you with Season 4, Episode 40, A Nazi Werewolf in Germany. AJ's gonna be, what, World War II again? I can't believe it. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at PointSoPressure. Get ready, cuties. Fucking Tim the Toolman Taylor over here. Oh, God. Fucking top tier. Welcome back. It's Monday.
It feels like it's been forever since we've done this.
It does, but at the same time, it feels like we recorded just yesterday. And that's not a joke. We recorded a week ago, but nothing has fucking happened this week.
Oh, my God. No, thank goodness. I baked. It was just how you know that seasonal depression's coming on.
Yeah,
That's how I escape it. I made 3 types of flatbread this week.
Not bad.
And then eaten it all.
I made the lettuce wraps, so you know where my mental state is. Me and lettuce wraps, get the fuck out of here.
You poor man.
Yeah, they were good, though.
Hey, that's good.
Yeah, we went to a not a haunted house. We went to a fucking horror house.
A horror house.
I don't know what the fuck do you call it?
It's called a haunted house.
Oh, okay. I mean, it wasn't actually haunted. It was one of those spooky walkthroughs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was cool.
It was full contact.
Yeah, full contact. Nothing crazy happened to me because I'm too big and fat for them to want to do anything.
I'm slightly shorter and more innocent looking.
I wonder if I just look like I don't have... So, like, with flight or fight, I don't have a flight response. Maybe that's what they think, but I have a flight response. Like,
I mean, it doesn't look like you can fly, but, put you in a situation.
When I strap those Jordans on, baby. Watch out.
When you puff up your basketball shoes.
When I puff up my fucking Reebok pumps, you better believe I'm out of there, and I'm 0 to 60 in 0.2.
What a great connection to the title of this episode.
Oh, really?
Because it's 80s,
oh,
right?
Yeah.
Isn't that when that movie came out?
Movie? I was talking about Reebok pumps, man. Those are like
when
90s.
American Werewolf in London
yeah. Okay.
I think it was. I don't fucking know.
And if you don't know it, go watch it. It's a fucking weird, culty movie.
I've never seen it.
It's good. It's a really weird, good 80s movie. And the werewolf effects in there, they use...
they're better than the Thriller.
They use the, natural effects or whatever the fuck it's called? Realistic. They use...
No, practical.
Practical. They use practical effects when he turns into a werewolf.
I always respect practical effects, even if they're shitty. Dude. Shitty practical effects are still better than shitty CGI.
I only saw the scene of him transitioning into a werewolf when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And the practical effects in that movie are amazing. Like, they're spooky. And then I watched it again later, and I was like, damn, those are still really fucking good. You would like it just for the effects in it.
Oh, I'm sure.
You're such an effects nerd.
Yeah, you know it.
Effects, not affects.
My wife is into special effects like makeup and shit, so of course
she does a good job with it, too.
She's really good at
impressive.
It. Oh, I suppose I should probably grab my notes and, get them out.
Maybe
now,
a little. Might be a little bit important.
Let me find them.
Heads up to everyone listening. I will be posting this week, so keep an eye out for the post. We will be streaming live on Sunday the 31st of October. We're going to do 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you're in Norway, I think that's 10 p.m. for you guys.
Don't worry.
Hopefully you can catch it. We won't do a 3-hour stream like we have before.
Maybe.
We might. But it'll be posted the next day as well. So it's going to be through YouTube. We will have links provided. If you want a link sent to you, message me on Instagram or Twitter. Just anything. You can send me a fucking little eggplant emoji and I'll know what you mean. Send it to me. I won't send you a dick pic in response. I'll just send you the link the day of, a good 10 minutes before we go on. And we're going to be running some testing to make sure that it sounds good. So
Yeah. So if you see us pop up on like
Yeah.
YouTube or anything like an hour before that, we're just testing. It's not going to be anything.
that, and the more people we have on there, the better the better feedback we're going to get. So be live in the comments. Let us know if we have audio issues, if we have anything, because that's going to be next week's episode.
Yeah, normally we can listen live when we're like recording, but when we're doing the live stream,
This one's tough because
We can't
have
listen
to run
in.
It. Yeah, we have to run it through a different program, so it makes things a little bit harder for us. So hop in, check us out live. The more people that are on there, the better. And comment like fucking crazy. I'll have it pulled up. AJ will have it pulled up. We'll have a guest next week.
Probably.
We might have a guest next week. But yeah,
spooky.
check that shit out. Sunday the 31st, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. If you aren't sure what time that is, message me. I'll let you know what time it is where you live, and I'll send you the link when we're going live. So, yeah, there's my spiel.
Perfect.
Also, subscribe on Patreon. All right, AJ,
Oh, yeah.
what do you have for me today?
Let's get to the real horror, which is me doing notes. So I know we are a hardcore history podcast.
Yes.
Not affiliated with Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, which is a fantastic podcast.
Yeah, sounds good.
If you really like 24-hour-long podcasts on World War One. So, which I do.
That's what we'll start doing when we hit like
Sell out.
45 and the Alzheimer's starts to kick in. Alzheimer's and dementia.
Oh, yeah.
And we can just ramble and tell the same story for 24 hours. People will eat it up, and we'll have money to give to our significant others. We'll
Yeah.
be set.
Perfect. So, I feel like we've it's been a while since I've done a World War II episode.
Yeah, it's been like 3 weeks.
I know, and Nordic Thunder always sends me awesome stuff
Hell yeah.
that I look at, like just great stuff. So thank you, keep sending them. This is not something that he sent me,
Oh.
but it got me back in the mood of World War II.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
I got an email today or yesterday, I don't know, that we peaked highest ever on a chart.
Oh my God, we've peaked. Were we top 100?
Rank number 67
Oh, damn it. Nope, I don't want it.
I know, almost 69, but rank number 67 of history podcasts in Norway.
Dude, we're
so-
killing it over there. That's
Thanks.
up. That's up from August when we were at, I think our peak was 114.
Yeah, so hey, we're moving somewhere in the world, and we also started ranking in like the 3,000 mark in Brazil,
Oh, okay. I mean, I'll take it.
which okay.
Flip those fucking VPNs on
Yeah,
and listen to us
switch
in
them to-
Oslo.
Yeah, Madagascar, please.
No. Bring Norway to number one. We got to get number one.
Let's do it. Switch.
Unique listeners in Norway, number one. And then we'll go worldwide. We'll just keep forwarding
We'll
you
go
guys
from
to
there.
everywhere else.
Yeah, we'll just go whatever like nation is closest next, and we'll just create this circle.
Before we do that, we need to get
Have good
sponsored.
content.
No, we need to get sponsored by a VPN so that everybody signs up through it. And
It's
then,
a pyramid scheme.
Yeah, bada bing. Fucking payout.
Amazing. So
yeah, not bad.
I'm going to talk about right now. There are two parts to this episode.
Okay.
The first part takes place in the magical land of 1988.
Oh.
Then the other part's World War II. So don't worry, they connect.
I was so confused. It's like, wait a minute. Is this a neo-Nazi werewolf?
Neo-Nazi
He's just shaved.
werewolf. Yeah. So, at the Moorbach ammunition storage site in Germany in 1988, which was the largest U.S. Air Force ammo storage facility at Europe during the time, is where we set our tail. It's a nice, cool evening.
God.
Fog is rolling through these old-growth German forests.
Jesus Christ.
So the valley, or the facility is in a valley, and yeah, it is surrounded by a forest. So they would get pretty foggy every once in a while, but basically they just store ammunition there. This was still, depth of the Cold War, and I don't remember when. Yes, I do. Okay, pre-Berlin Wall falling, so East and West Germany still divided.
Okay, yeah. So you said 1988,
Yes.
West or East Germany?
The U.S. one.
The U.S. side. West.
The Allied side.
The West Germany, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Sure,
I have East Germany belt buckles upstairs.
It's not like I visited there fucking 2 years ago. I should remember. Thanks a lot, drugs.
Thanks a lot. So this is kind of a paranormal story.
Okay.
There were 3 men who were on duty. They were patrolling the perimeter fence one night. Most of the time they would get like alarms for deer trapped in the fence. Local teenagers would sometimes come up and like throw rocks or try to spray paint shit. Just fuck around because they know they're not going to get like shot at.
Yeah.
It's not that important of a sight. They would just like get chewed out and then go back home.
Get the fuck out of here, kids.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So they received an alarm and they were like,
Those goddamn kids again.
probably going to be a boar. They also had a lot of boar.
It sounds like the start of a Stranger Things episode. Series.
A little bit.
Start of a Stranger Things series. Like
Yeah,
a season, not series. Jesus.
Almost like they're drawing from previous inspiration,
What?
previous stories.
No.
Yeah,
They wouldn't
everything's
do that.
original. Nobody would do that.
Yeah.
So these 3 dudes were patrolling. They're bros. They're, these guys were American. They're in Germany. They're, getting their dick wet, drinking beer all the time. No, I don't know. I don't know what happens in Germany. I've never been.
The dream, dude.
Except they're stuck in a valley in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. It's still kind of the dream, if I'm being honest.
So they showed up to where the alarm kind of was going off. There was some movement detected. I think it was like a motion sensor type system.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, let's go throw beer bottles at these kids.
Wouldn't be the first time, won't be the last.
Yeah, and they're like, I hope it's not a boar stuck in the fence again, because that's just a pain in the ass, because it's trying to kill you, and you're trying to get it out, and, whatever.
And you're trying not to kill it.
Yeah. So they're actually, I believe they're patrolling on the outside of the fence.
Okay.
And they get to the area where they were called to, and there's some movement inside, and it's super dark, pretty unlit area, and they shine their flashlights at the spot, and there's an animal inside the fence. And like, son of a bitch. Probably crawled under. Pain in the ass. Now we gotta go wrestle this animal in the middle of the fucking night.
Chase it down. It's pitch black. You've only got shit 1980s flashlights.
Yeah, I don't even think they're armed guards. I think they're civilian patrolmen.
Well, imagine they've dealt with fucking kids every Thursday night for the last fucking 3 years, so they're just like, oh my god, it's those fucking kids again. Let's go yell at them, tell them to fuck off, and they'll be done for the night.
Yeah, so the animal spun around because the light was on it and it kind of startled it, and it stood up on its hind legs.
So it was a chimpanzee.
So it was a chimp in the forests of Germany. It rose.
It was a silverback gorilla.
Yeah. And that man was Harambe.
Yeah. Oh, God.
This is where it started.
Yeah, this is his origin story.
Nah, so 8 feet tall.
Okay.
A wolf-like creature, they described it as, stared at them for a few seconds.
Okay, so a bear with pointy ears.
Yellow eyes, thin,
Yeah.
humanoid shaped, almost like a Bigfoot, but wolf, not monkey.
Monkey.
And there's just a wolf man standing there. And he's just kind of looking at him.
What?
And
I thought you were like, they were just kind of looking at him. I was like, that's what...
no, the wolf was looking at them. They were like,
I was so confused. I was like, they're just like, huh.
No. So then they are basically frozen in fear, and this thing takes 2 steps and jumps over a 12-foot fence.
Towards them.
And them. Landing behind them.
Oh.
And then it drops down to all four legs and runs into the forest.
I think there was something a little extra in that beer.
And they're like, what the fuck happened?
I wouldn't be like, what the fuck happened? I'd be, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, no, they did. They fucking ran. They called for backup. They had tracking dogs and armed guards show up to back them up.
Dude, I feel like the worst job to have when seeing anything that's like a monster or ghost is if you're in the army.
Yeah, but at least they were in the United States.
Because they're going to think that you're just bullshitting so you can go home. It's the catch-22 thing all over again. And you're like, no, I'm not trying to go home. And they're like, yeah, you are. You're like, no. But I know that if you were like, yo, all three of us saw a fucking
man-wolf
dog man stand up, your fucking lieutenant or whoever the fuck you report to in the army would just be like, man, shut the fuck up. You got to lay off the beer. No more of that shit. I'll get back to work. That's what would happen. Yeah. It was the 80s. That shit was like regular.
But the guard dogs showed up. They got the scent and said, fuck no. We are not. The dogs went, fuck no. We are not going into the forest at night sniffing whatever the fuck smelled here, because they found a trail.
Yo,
they alerted to a scent.
They go, this is some big dick wolf piss. Yeah, no thanks.
This wolf got big dick energy. I'm not going after this bitch.
Yo, he got a lot of pee stored in them balls. I'm not about this.
Got them big pee-filled balls.
God, dude.
Yeah, so they ended up not pursuing the beast because they were like, well, the dogs don't want to go. And these three dudes are shitting themselves. They're not going to go. And that's freaking out everybody else. So everybody's like, fuck. We need to get inside the fence. We can do the patrols from inside the fence now. This is fine.
God, this sounds like The Thing, Germany. God damn. Just in a facility in the middle of nowhere.
Middle of buck-ass nowhere.
Oh, God.
So the nearest village to Moorbach was Wittlich, let's say. Let's call it Wittlich. That's probably right. Super small village, but very historically significant. A lot of lore and culture from the area. Been Germanic, like a Germanic village for a long time.
Oh, okay, wow.
It's also known as the last town where a werewolf was killed in history.
Fuck. Okay, so this sounds exactly like the plot of American Werewolf in London. Okay.
Does it?
Yeah, 100%. So I won't give you spoilers, but like these guys go to this little bar, they run into some shit, they go out in the woods, they see a fucking werewolf, they get attacked by one, they go to like, I don't think they start at the bar, I don't remember, but they go to this fucking bar, they're like, oh, this is a werewolf town, the last one we killed was yada yada, and you're like, what the fuck? It's like this little Scottish area, I think. But yeah, and then it escalates from there. This dude goes back into the city. Just gets worse and worse. So if there's a fucking sighting of a werewolf in Berlin, I'm going to be like, yo, I'm calling you out, AJ.
No, I swear. This happened. American Werewolf in London
also
never existed.
It happened.
It's not real.
It happened.
Google it. It didn't show up. It doesn't show up.
They made that
Never
movie.
happened. No, that's your spec script. Fuck. So yeah, the story starts with Thomas Johannes Baptist Schweitzer, which is a great name.
Oh no, Thomas Johannes Baptist Schweitzer.
Schweitzer.
Oh my God, bro! How much did his parents hate him?
Right. So he was a deserter from Napoleon's army.
Oh, okay.
And he was traveling home.
He has the name of a deserter.
Yeah. And he was trying to get back to his home, which was Alsace. Not Alsace-Lorraine.
Thomas Johannes.
From Alsace.
From Alsace, the deserter.
The deserter. Passing through Wittlich, he was, obviously, he had to hide from people, or they would turn him in, or treat him like shit. So he was starving, trying to just survive on whatever he could scavenge. Poor guy. And there was just this little farmhouse outside of this town. And it's like, I'm just gonna go, steal some food and
he's a
sleep in the
hermit.
barn.
Like, fuck, dude, why not?
Whatever. So the farmer was like, fuck, no, you're not. I'm gonna stab you with this pitchfork.
Oh, okay. I thought that this was gonna go a different way. That he has a peaceful hay dinner.
No.
And then he gets fucking eviscerated by a werewolf.
No. He actually murdered the farmer.
Oh, fuck. What the hell?
Because he was like, no, I need to eat, bitch.
God damn. Okay. Thomas Johannes.
Asshole.
Not a funny guy.
Certified asshole.
Yeah. Well, he did grow up with that name. So can you really blame him?
He's still an asshole.
I don't blame him for being an asshole, but he's still an asshole.
So as he was running away, the farmer's wife cursed Thomas.
Oh.
And as Thomas was running into the forest, he transformed into a wolf.
Okay.
So for a few weeks, from the curse.
Yeah.
So for a few weeks, the wolf man would murder men and kill off a bunch of animals. And finally, the townsfolk had enough. They cornered the wolf man, killed the shit out of him.
What year was this?
It's lore, so no good year.
Okay.
So during the Napoleonic Wars, sometime during Napoleon.
I see. All right.
Yeah. And
I was imagining post-World War II. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
So they killed the wolf, and they buried him at the crossroads, and they built a shrine on top of it to prevent him from coming back. The whole thing was, we're going to keep a candle lit here, and if the candle goes out,
Jesus,
it's going to come back.
I would love to live in a city that's like that.
Dude,
that's just,
you can go there.
That's just constantly
They have
spooked.
a ton of shrines with candles.
Vidlick?
They play into the whole werewolf thing. You can go there.
I'm going to look it up.
And it's like a quaint little German town. I was looking at pictures. Ooh, why would you do that? Ooh, why would you do that?
Sorry. I don't know what's happening.
Okay. Wittlich. Wittlich. If anybody's interested, we're putting together... That's going to be the first stop on the PP World Tour.
Yeah.
Which I forgot.
Tour de PP.
Tour de la PP.
Okay, Wittlich. Oh, of course. The first
no spoilers.
restaurant that shows up, Asian Wok. right near downtown. Authentic Asian Wok, everybody.
Best place to get Asian food is in Germany.
It's in Wittlich, Germany.
So, that's kind of the lore behind that area. And I always find it so fascinating that if you go back to the lore of, small villages and different, cultural areas, I always wonder if there's some, semblance of truth to why this area has lore on wolfmen, this area has lore on Bigfoot, this area has lore on Thunderbirds. I always wonder if they're connected.
Yeah, why certain places are certain things. I feel you. Also, by the way, fucking cool looking town.
Yeah,
have you seen?
Awesome.
Did you look it up?
I looked it up.
Yeah,
it's a cool ass town.
It's so fucking
looking.
German.
Oh yeah, it's like if you think of the stereotypical German village, it's this
like northwestern German. You're like, okay, yeah, that's it.
It looks like an Overwatch map.
I hate you for saying that, but yeah,
it does.
You're not wrong.
So, interestingly enough, throughout the 80s and the early 90s, there were a ton of reports of a huge wolf-like creature being seen both in the town and from other patrolmen on the base. They were not the first people. They were the first people to document it.
Oh.
On the base.
Okay.
So, the base is gone now. It's replaced by wind turbines. But the village still, celebrates the the werewolf stuff. They still have the shrines with candles in them. They kind of play into that.
Okay.
And I love that it wasn't just these three dudes. This Moorbach monster thing started a lot of Wolfman investigations.
Okay.
I know most people don't even know that there is a sect of cryptozoological researchers who focus on Wolfman, what's her name? The lady who did the Beast of Bray Road. Of course I can't remember her name now.
Beast of Bray
Road? Of Bray Road. Yeah, this is where she got her, break. But, why can't I remember her name? Of course, she's just, super famous for this stuff.
I'm pulling it up. You're good. Filling the time. Filling the time. I don't see a name. Fuck. Linda
Godfrey. There we go. I remembered Linda. Linda Godfrey. Yeah. I've read some of her stuff. Pretty compelling. She does a good job of investigating, which is really rare in the paranormal field nowadays. A lot of people are very, I'm collecting reports online and collating them into a Kindle book that I can sell for $5.99.
Yeah, that's me making episodes. I do like this, though. I'm intrigued, and I might actually look into her stuff.
You should.
because of how, just this like one sentence, Godfrey was initially skeptical, but later became convinced of the sincerity of the witnesses.
Yes.
That's where I am right now.
Hell
I'm not completely against all things paranormal.
You're
but,
skeptical, which is
yeah,
totally
I'm
healthy.
just like, I haven't fucking seen anything. I don't know anything. So I'm not going to really have an opinion right now, which I think is fair.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. Some of her stuff, especially, I am more familiar with her earlier work. She would, like, let's say somebody writes a report and says, hey, I saw this weird thing. The one that's popping off in the top of my head now, this is from memory, so it might not be super accurate. Disclaimer. Fair. But this person came to her.
If you're expecting accuracy, you wouldn't be listening.
You're on the
to
wrong
us
show.
Anyway, yeah.
But Bear does say we're decently accurate.
Well, it's just
he said that once.
It's because Wikipedia backs us up a little bit.
I did not use Wikipedia for this.
No, I'm just giving.
Turns out, no, that's my first episode.
No, nice.
But so basically, this person who's in their mid-30s now approached her and said, "Hey, when I was a kid, I saw something weird. We were at a gas station filling up, family vacation kind of drive, and me and my sister were playing with a ball. We were throwing it back and forth." But it kind of, we missed it, and it bounced and rolled across the street in this small town. We have no idea where we were. Our parents don't remember where we were. Or, no, you didn't say that. We don't remember where we were. The ball rolls into this garage. The garage door is like halfway down.
Oh, fuck no, kids.
And the sister stays, but this guy goes and gets the ball. Not crawls, he kind of has to dip down a little bit, goes in, and the ball's right there, grabs it, looks up, and there's a fully grown man without a shirt on transforming. Or like, it's like he was having a seizure, but then hair was growing out and the finger, like turning into a wolf man kind of thing.
Okay.
And they remember that there was almost like a burrow hole in the back of the garage, like it crawled up out of it, like weird thing. Everybody should look at this very skeptically.
Also,
obviously it was a kid. Nobody
should go into someone's garage if your ball rolls in there. Just so you guys know. Not a good idea.
You can take that. You can take that away from this.
Children and adults alike.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
So
even if there might be a werewolf in there, don't go in.
Don't go in. Yeah. So he's like and whatever, and then he just remembers going back to his family, and they were looking for him. Like more time had passed than he could remember.
Like the kid that saw him.
The kid, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they were like, okay. Linda was like, okay, let's figure this out. Contact your parents. Ask them where they think that was. They were able to give him a town. So then she actually went to the town and, on guidance with this guy to find the gas station. They're like, okay, the gas station exists. That's the first step is like, did the location exist? And she's really good that she's willing to give this crazy story the benefit of the doubt. If it was a made-up story, why would they base it on a real place?
Yeah, why would they give a place to investigate? They'd be like, oh, it was a different dimension gas station. And she'd be like, what the fuck?
Well, she would say, like,
how am I supposed to find
You would say,
this?
oh, it was a gas station that's red on Main Street.
Yeah.
There was a Maverick on Main Street and 2nd South or whatever.
Yeah.
And then she would just look it up and be like, there's not a Maverick there, so get out. That's how she filters her stuff.
Totally fair.
So she found, this place was there where he said accurately. Mm-hmm. Even though it had been 30 years, she was able to see, like, dig into, archives and shit.
She could still find
and
where
the location.
It had been.
Yeah. And then she went there and was like, oh, well, now the house that was there is torn down. But I found pictures of the house before it was torn down, and I showed him to the guy and was like, hey, is this the place? But first I showed him a different house that was in the town somewhere else and said, hey, is this it? He's like, no, that's not it.
And she said,
showed the real one.
Sorry, wrong
What about
photo.
this one? Yeah, and I really like that kind of investigation.
Well, because it's an actual investigation. Yeah. It's because she's going into it hoping she finds them saying no, it doesn't exist.
Exactly. She's trying to call them out on their bullshit.
And that's what I like about it, because I feel like so much of the paranormal stuff currently is someone going out trying to find something spooky, so they can post about it.
Yeah,
And
looking for it and then playing
based
into
on
it.
now, I don't know a lot about paranormal stuff, but when I was looking into like Will-O-Wisp and everything, when you're going out and looking for something, you're not really going to get it if it doesn't want you to see it.
Exactly.
And a werewolf and shit like that isn't really going to want you to see it. So for me, I think that going out with the mindset of, yeah, this is bullshit, but let's prove it wrong is way better than going, holy shit, this is a great story. Let's find it.
Let's take it at face value.
Because you're not gonna look at things in a skeptical light, which I think is vital for this, because it's easy in paranormal research and everything to just take everything, like you said, at face value, and to just go, oh, they said there was a ghost? Well, there was a fucking ghost.
Exactly.
It's like, no, verify. Like,
yeah.
say that there wasn't, find out if it's a possibility that it wasn't.
Just even the fact of confirming certain information, like
basic information, too.
Oh, I remember going and I was wearing this shirt and this was the year. Oh, did this shirt even exist in this year? Did this location exist at this time period? Like, just ruling something as simple as that out, you get rid of pretty much all the fakers, because they're not going to go to the effort of saying, I had this Ecto Cooler juice box 5 years before it was created. I'm going to look up the dates on that. Like, no.
And I mean, I'm sure at her level, too, she has to go into everything with a grain of salt. Like,
it's Wolfman.
Yeah.
How do you how are you taken seriously?
This is going to be bullshit. Like, I'm going to go in, verify everything before I go, hi, have you seen werewolves here before? And then she gets chased out of fucking town.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
She really understood.
I'll have to look further into
at least the old stuff. Again, I haven't read anything more recent, just like towards the beginning.
She just completely switches and she changes to the dude that wears bedazzled pants on like
No, she switches to David Icke. But
she changes the Chris Angel.
Oh,
God damn it.
Fuck. No, but from what I have seen from her, she's very much, I understand that this topic will make it so that no one will take me seriously. Yeah. But I've investigated enough to know that there's something to it, so maybe you should just hear. Like, just listen.
Somebody's got a big ass dog that's scaring people.
Yeah. So let's go back 40 years from the Wolfman sighting, the Beast of Morbach, as it's called. So 40 years earlier, the Allies, mostly the Russians, were just pushing into Germany, just shrekking them. And then America was kind of there and was like, hey, we're here too, and we're fresh and haven't been fighting and haven't lost all these soldiers. So
we have new cars built in Germany. Not. We promise they're American made.
It's the same company, though. Yeah. But yeah, they're fresh, so they're there too. And the Nazis know that they are losing. So they're trying to, all these top Nazi heads, including Adolf Hitler, are smashing their heads together, trying to think, how do we turn this so that we at least get a good, like, deal? And at this point, Hitler was basically checked out, off his mind on drugs from what we know. So he probably wasn't playing too much of a role. He was still saying, we're going to win.
We got this. I promise. We got this.
But previously in the war, in 1944, they had done an operation with at Hitler's behest called Operation Werewolf.
Okay.
The whole idea was you get Adolf Prutzmann and Otto Skorzeny, who I talk about a lot. He had a huge hand. He was Hitler's, like, black ops guy.
Oh.
Otto Skorzeny. And just one of the very small things.
So he's the Dick Cheney.
Yes.
The fucking Third Reich.
Yeah. So they launched Operation Werewolf, where these two SS lieutenants and a couple, like, little paramilitary groups infiltrated Allied camps, sabotaged supply lines, and just tried to fuck over the Allies as much as they could. These were the guys who, like Otto Skorzeny and some of his group of dudes, his black ops soldiers essentially, would dress in American soldier uniforms.
That's some war crime shit.
It's a huge war crime, but they got off on it because they said that they switched into their uniform before going to fight. And we've talked about this before, but that's bullshit because the people who... There was nobody to testify against them because they were dead.
Jesus.
So, yeah, these guys were not afraid of war crimes. Otto Skorzeny was another thing that he's done around this time period.
Martin Scorsese, another thing.
Yeah, Otto Skorzeny. It's very close to saying that a couple of times. In 1943, he led a small group of commandos and rescued Mussolini from a compound in Italy. Because he was basically arrested. In a prison compound. It was basically a castle. And they got there by using hang gliders.
What?
And, like, zip lines and stealth. It was super cool.
And black turtlenecks.
Yeah, essentially. Beanies, glass cutters, and balaclavas.
Yeah, right.
I was going to say baklava.
And baklavas.
Yeah, that's how they bribed the guards. No, so basically Hitler checked out the leading, the people who were still around in leadership in 44 and 45 understood that they're not going to win.
Yeah.
But how are we going to stretch this out so that we can surrender on our terms?
Okay.
We can get a better deal. And they think back to Operation Werewolf and like, that worked. Let's do guerrilla warfare. So basically in the last throes as they're, getting invaded, they put together a bunch of guerrilla, like, groups. And they say, go crazy. Go Che Guevara on their asses. Like, go crazy, disrupt supply lines, assassinate people. Basically, try to be the Inglourious Bastards, but German.
Okay, yeah.
Like, go bonkers. But it fell apart immediately. Of course. Because basically they were taking orders from this guy, and then this guy was stepping in saying, no, I'm in control, because when Hitler kind of snapped, essentially, when he was...
Everyone was so power hungry.
There was a power vacuum.
Yeah, everyone was looking for a gap to fill.
How am I going to go here? How am I going to go here? Like, somebody's got to step into that role, and they were all kind of fighting against each other.
Yeah.
They didn't do that. They could have caused more damage. So because of that power vacuum that was left there, that whole guerrilla operation fell apart. But then, Goebbels was like...
No, it's always Goebbels.
It's always Goebbels.
It's always fucking Goebbels, man.
So Goebbels was like, all right, we need to... Let's try this again. We're going to create these guerrilla groups, but we're going to try to get civilians on it. Like, you don't have to be in the military. It's not officially organized. But let's start distributing information, how to organize, how to get supplies, and what to do, how to sabotage, that kind of thing. And they called them werewolves. So early 1945, the national radio broadcasts started to say, there's a werewolf movement, join the werewolf movement. You can, rebel. If you know any sympathizers, fuck them up. If you know where, this information, fuck it up. Destroy these supplies, burn this shit, kill these guys. Like, they started doing it. In fact, one female broadcaster said, it probably sounds way cooler in German. But the translation is, I am so savage, I'm filled with rage. Lily the werewolf is my name. I bite, I eat, I am not tame. My werewolf teeth bite the enemy.
That was the official broadcast. She was just fucking Slim Shady dropping that shit.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
She just spitting it out.
So most people were like,
Lily is my name, and werewolfing is the name of my fucking game.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah!
God.
I want to do that.
All these fucking blonde hair, blue-eyed fucks are out in the street.
Yeah! I'm a wolf.
Oh, God. Part of the wolf pack. God, fuck off.
Yeah, so most people were like, fuck, we've essentially been at war since 1933.
Yeah.
Before that, we faced major inflation since the end of our last war that we also got our ass reamed in.
Yeah, and then before that, just fucking... Was it major inflation as to why they had so many problems before World War One. Am I wrong?
Yes.
Okay, well, regardless.
They didn't have a ton of problems pre-World War One, as far as I'm aware.
Post. That's what I'm thinking
that
of.
the inflation was so awful with the Weimar Republic, and oof. So they were basically like, fuck you guys, I don't want to be a werewolf gorilla now. Like, I was willing to go in with the fancy outfits, with the fucking killer style, which Nazis are horrible, but their style...
Damn if they don't dress
Oh my
well.
God. So...
I mean, I don't blame them. I'd be like, I want to drink because I'm having a good time, not because I'm stressed living in Germany.
Exactly. So there were, holdouts and pockets of people, resistance fighters, essentially, across the nation for years, even. Like, there were multiple times when where you get sniped. Like, you just be, shit. End of the war, everything's fine, I'm driving my Jeep. I'm an American soldier.
Jesus.
Boom, brains blown out.
God damn.
Like, there were tons of, like, hit-and-run style, like, guerrilla attacks where they just shoot up a Jeep, run away. Like, that stuff would happen. A lot of supplies got stolen or destroyed. Eventually, it just kind of dwindled out, obviously, because there's no coming back at that point. But it was even in training manuals, allegedly. I didn't find one of these training manuals. I just read about them. But that they would say, no, werewolves are not real. Because people would come back. Because these werewolf guerrilla fighters would play into the lore. They'd, like, leave hair around.
Jesus.
Or, like torn up clothes and howl at night.
Yeah.
Like, they would play into it to try to create...
people's livestock.
Yeah. To try to create this, like,
Yeah.
psychological fear.
Yeah.
Psychological attack from it. So one of the theories is the Beast of Mordok is just that werewolf lore passed down from the Nazis.
Yeah.
It still doesn't explain what they saw. But
yeah,
just I just love that there is that werewolf lore.
It is interesting. I like
super far back and more modern.
And then it's grabbed. It's kind of like the weird, creepy little history of it is then grabbed by a really fucking terrible group that they adapt it and more or less recreate it, and then it comes back later on 50 some odd years later. It's really fucking interesting.
It's really interesting. Like, and the fact that there was werewolf lore before that, and just like it's just there. Like, why does it keep coming back?
Yeah, it's odd
to this area.
I like it though. I feel like that as terrible as the Nazis are, it's a really fucking clever approach.
Yeah,
to keep that shit under wraps.
Yeah, it really is.
Because I mean, if you're an American tuning into their radio stations and you hear, "Hey, werewolves don't exist," like, "Oh, become a part of the werewolves," that kind of shit. It's like, oh, it's probably some stupid, like, local thing, whatever. Germans love werewolves and beer. Everyone knew that in the 1940s, right?
Sure.
So, it's a really fucking clever approach.
It really is. And it gives the resistance fighters something to, like, focus on. Even without, like, authority and hierarchy. They know what they're supposed to do and how to do it. Just based on that.
You know what? It wouldn't work today in the U.S. because the asshole, like, the people are on the really shitty side of things here that would be like, we're going to rebel against, like, they would go, I know what we should say. We should say the Eagles. And you'd be like, bro, shut the fuck up. We know. Like, no, join the Eagles. We'd be like, yeah, we fucking know.
And they're just out at night going, "Gah, gah."
They're just doing fucking crow calls. You're like, you're an idiot. Like,
That's not an eagle noise.
I know what you guys are doing. Like, you QAnon fucks aren't special. You're choosing eagles. Like, I just feel like it wouldn't work today. One, because of how much information we have at our fingertips. And two, you just don't get that fucking rich history in the U.S. Unless you go to the indigenous side of things. And they wouldn't go to the indigenous side.
No, they would not. But no, it's really interesting how it just kept coming back in that region, and it never really made it to the United States. Like, the lore affected U.S. and, pretty much anybody else who was occupation at that time. It affected the servicemen, like the Americans who were over there occupying the nation.
Come back and talk about the werewolf.
No, they were told a lot of times by their commanding officers, like, that's not real. Don't ever talk about it again. So they never did. But apparently it was big.
Oh, I'm sure.
Until like the 60s, like people would talk about, there were werewolves. Whether they believe it or not. Just the fact that they're talking about it and talking about the legends and the stories about it, that the Nazis were able to like fuel the fire and rekindle some of that older lore.
Fucking fear of werewolves, man.
Oh yeah,
a Nazi werewolf in Germany.
I'm terrified by not werewolves, wolfmen. They're different. Werewolves are men who turn into wolves. Wolfmen are men who are wolves.
Who are wolves? It's like a wolf man.
Humanoid wolves. Yeah, wolfmen.
He doesn't switch back.
Yeah.
I feel you. Interesting. I like it. It's a fucking weird one.
It's really fucking weird. But I got to talk about Otto Skorzeny. I got to talk about Nazi style. It's a good episode.
Yeah, it's AJ's wet dream.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, well, let's see. A Nazi werewolf in Germany. Roll the credits. Our Patreon subscribers.
Oh. Thank you to the Patreon subscribers. Patreon.com/points of pressure.
You got it. One breath.
I'm not the guest host. Abby, AJ's third nut, Lindo, NSA isn't real, D's nuts, Nordic Thunder, Toddy Waddy Poopy Snotty, Dark Runner, Haley, Casey McFacey. Thank you guys so much.
Did you get all of them?
I did.
Nah, you missed 2 of them.
No, I didn't.
No, I'm just giving you shit.
I had to scroll. No, I've got their email addresses right here. I'm going to start reading them out. No.
I have their addresses. That stocks all of our Patreon subscribers. Yeah, thanks, guys. We really appreciate all of your help. If you would like to subscribe and make sure that AJ runs out of breath, I would appreciate it. I think it'd be cool if he can't do all of our Patreon subscribers in one breath.
Yeah, that would be. That would be so cool.
I think that's a stretch goal for me.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, huge thank you to you guys. As AJ always says, you keep the lights on in the place. But yeah, thank you for subscribing. Check it out. Find us on Instagram and Twitter at @PointsOutPressure. Suggest anything, reach out, and don't forget, next Sunday, 2 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to be live. Reach out for links, and we'll catch you guys next Monday.
Yeah, you got to get home.